All right, let's talk about the future. Now, you might think it's simple, but in English, talking about what's coming up is, well, it's way more interesting and powerful than just using one single tense.
So, yeah, how do we actually talk about the future? Because if you're stuck thinking there's just one way to do it, you are totally missing out on some of the coolest tools English has to offer. So let's break them down.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The thing about the future in English is it's not just about a time. It's really about your attitude towards that time. Seriously, the way you talk about something that's going to happen, is it a plan, a promise you just made, something that'll be in progress? That little choice changes the whole meaning.
So let's start with the two heavy hitters, the most common tools you're going to use. Just think of it like this. Every time you talk about what's next, you're making a choice. Is this a plan or is it a promise?
And that brings us to the simple future tense. Now, on the surface, will and be going to look like they do the same thing, right? But nope, they are not interchangeable. Each one has a very specific job, and it all comes down to when you made the decision.
And here's the secret. It's all about timing. You use be going to when you're talking about a plan, something you decided before you started speaking. It's a prior intention. But will? That's for right now. It's for those spontaneous, in-the-moment decisions, an immediate reaction.
Okay, to make this super clear, let's follow a guy named Alex. So when Alex says, I am going to travel to the coast this weekend, you can almost hear the planning, can't you? He's probably already looked at maps or booked a hotel. That decision was made before he said it.
But then, imagine this. The phone starts ringing out of nowhere. Alex just says, I will get it. See? No plan there at all. It's a completely spontaneous reaction to something happening right now. And that, right there, is the perfect job for will.
Okay, that covers plans versus promises. But what if you want to do something more? What if you want to paint a picture of being right smack in the middle of an action, but in the future? Well, for that, we need a different tool. And that tool is the future continuous tense. Its whole job is to basically teleport you to a specific moment in the future so you can see an action as it's happening, as it's unfolding. It just makes the future feel so much more vivid, more real. And the best part? Building it is super easy. It's just a simple two-part recipe. You start with will be, and then you just tack on your main verb with an ing at the end. That's literally it. So let's check back in on Alex and his trip. With this new tool, we can say something like, this time tomorrow, Alex will be relaxing on the beach. See the difference? We're not just saying it's a plan. We're painting a picture. We can imagine him there in the middle of relaxing. It puts you right there on the sand with him.
All right, you ready to level up? Let's get a little more advanced. What happens when you need to talk about things that will be finished or completed by a certain point in the future? It's kind of like time traveling. You stand at a future point and look back at something you've already done.
This is where our two perfect future tenses jump in. First, you've got the future perfect. This one is all about completion. By a certain time, the action will be done, finished. But then you have the future perfect continuous. This one's different. It cares about duration, how long something will have been happening right up until that future moment.
Let's go back to Alex. Using the future perfect, we can say, by Sunday evening, Alex will have visited 3 different towns. The focus here is 100% on completion. It's like we're standing there on Sunday night, looking at a checklist, and yep, 3 towns, all visited. It's a finished task.
Okay, but now listen to this, using the other tense. By the time he gets home, he will have been driving for 4 hours. Hear the difference? The focus isn't that the driving is finished. The focus is on the duration, that long 4-hour stretch of time on the road that leads right up to the moment he pulls into his driveway.
And there you have it, a really powerful, really versatile toolkit for talking about the future. Each one of these tenses gives you a totally different way to look at and describe time. So let's do a super quick recap to lock it all in. So you've got your simple future that's will and going to for your basic plans and promises. You've got the future continuous for putting us right there in the middle of a future action. Then there's the future perfect to talk about what's going to be finished. And finally, the future perfect continuous to focus on how long something has been going on. 4 amazing tools for 4 totally different perspectives on the future.
Which, brings me to a final question for you. And I'm going to use one of our new tools to ask it. After all this, what will you have learned by the end of today? Pretty cool, right? Now you have the exact language you need to go out and perfectly describe your own future.